Imagine waking up to a short message on your phone. You got the job. Nothing in the room changed, but everything in you did. Your mood, your plans, even how you breathe. A few words crossed from meaning into action. That crossing is the hidden power in your life. Ibn Arabi has a name for it, the bridge between what we think and what we live. He calls this bridge imagination, not daydreaming, but a real space where meanings take shape and shapes carry meaning. Think of dawn. It's not night and not day, but it connects them. Think of a mirror. It's not you and not the world behind you, but it shows you clearly enough to act. This is how change actually happens. A promise becomes a marriage. A judgment becomes a sentence. A diagnosis becomes a new routine. Meaning walks across a form. Here is the first challenge. Many people either worship the form or ignore it. Some cling to rules and rituals and forget what they point to. Others chase feelings and throw away the structures that keep truth steady. Ibn Arabi's answer is balance. The form is not the source, but without the form you may never reach the source. The prayer is not God, but without prayer your attention forgets God. The map is not the mountain, but without the map you get lost. Ask yourself a simple test before important choices. What meaning am I trying to bring into life? What form will carry it without damage? If you want reconciliation, maybe the right form is a short apology said face to face, not a long message at midnight. If you want fairness at work, the form might be a clear policy with deadlines, not a vague speech about values. Meaning and form must travel together. If they split, people get hurt. Ibn Arabi says the human being is built for this work. We are a small version of the wide world. We have senses for facts, reason for order, memory for continuity, and imagination for connecting the seen and unseen. Your imagination is not a private movie. It is your planning room. When you see a conversation before it happens, you are testing whether your words will carry the truth without creating new harm. When a community drafts a budget, it imagines how numbers will carry justice into real days. This is the bridge in action. Why is this urgent now? Because our lives are full of images with thin meanings. Feeds scroll, slogans trend, aesthetic beats substance. Without trained imagination, we mistake the wrapper for the thing. Ibn Arabi's way is not to run from images, it is to train them. A good symbol brings you back to what is real. A good practice shapes you into someone more honest, more steady, more merciful. If a deep idea makes you careless with people, it is not deep. If a spiritual habit makes you harsh, it is not spiritual. The bridge is judged by what it delivers. Here is a simple routine to start using today. First, recognition. Once a day, pick one small moment and ask, what is being shown here? In a busy shop, you might notice patience in the cashier who stays calm. Naming it helps you carry it. Second, alignment. Choose one quality you need, mercy, justice, truth, and design one tiny action that trains it. 2 minutes of full attention to someone. A daily review of one decision for fairness. One clear sentence instead of a convenient blur. Third, translation. Before a big move, write 2 columns. On the left, your intention. On the right, 2 or 3 forms that could carry it without new harm. Draw a line between them. If the line is weak, rethink the form. This bridge also helps you stand in conflict without breaking. You can honor a law's purpose while adjusting its use in a hard case. You can respect a ritual's shape while deepening your focus. You can critique a story that harms people without denying the grain of truth that made it attractive. When you stand on the bridge, you see both sides. You stop playing all or nothing with reality. Another clarity is needed. Imagination does not mean anything goes. The world is full of signs with real anchors. A sign that never brings you back to its source is a distraction. A reading that does not improve conduct is not proven. Test yourself by outcomes. After your insight, are you more accurate with facts, more careful with power, more grateful for gifts, more patient with time? If not, rebuild the bridge. Let's return to the hook. The biggest shifts in your life came through forms that carried meaning into you. A letter of acceptance, a small ring, a set of keys, a door code. None of these objects was the meaning itself, but each one delivered it. Once you see this, you stop being a passive consumer of symbols and become a builder. You pick forms that serve truth. You refuse forms that distort it. You learn to move ideas across the bridge without losing them. Hold one picture as we close this segment. Sunlight through colored glass. The colors are many. The light is one. If you stare only at the colors, you miss the source. If you stare only at the source, you miss the richness of its display. Wisdom keeps both in view. Meaning and form joined but not confused. That is the craft. That is the bridge you use every day. In the next part, we will make this even more practical. We will refine the routine, set guardrails that keep symbols honest, and face real objections. How to avoid self-deception, how to hold faith and reason together, and how to use this bridge to change the way you work, love, and lead. Start with one hard truth. Imagination can lie. The same bridge that carries meaning into life can also carry illusions. A rumor takes the form of a headline, and people act as if it were fact. A label sticks to a person, and whole rooms treat the label as the person. Ibn Arabi's answer is not to tear down the bridge. It is to add guardrails so the crossing is safe. First guardrail, return to the source. A form must answer to what it claims to carry. If a policy claims justice, you should be able to point to who was protected, who was heard, and how power was checked. If a ritual claims remembrance, you should find greater honesty and humility after it, not just a timer you survived. This is a simple filter you can use anywhere. Show me the fruit. If the fruit is confusion, harm, or pride, the form has drifted from its meaning. Second guardrail, keep distinctions clear. Unity does not mean merger. The map is not the mountain. The prayer is not God. The teacher is not the teaching. When you confuse these, you get idolatry of forms and personality cults. When you keep them clear, respect grows without worship, and critique becomes possible without contempt. Distinction protects freedom to correct what is broken while staying loyal to what is true. Third guardrail, test by character. A real insight leaves a signature in how you treat people. It makes you more exact with facts, slower to anger, cleaner with money, steadier under pressure. If your deep idea makes you sloppy with truth or cruel with the weak, it is not deep. If your spiritual mood makes you untouchable to feedback, it is not spiritual. Character is the invoice the bridge must pay. Now put the bridge to work with a simple method you can practice this week. Name it C-shape share. C, pause before reacting and look for the meaning trying to appear. In a tense meeting, maybe the meaning is fairness. On a stressful morning, maybe the meaning is patience. In a hard decision, maybe the meaning is truth with mercy. Give the meaning a clear, short name. One word is best. Shape. Choose a form that can carry that meaning without new harm. If the word is fairness, the form might be a written rule you apply the same way to friends and strangers. If the word is patience, the form might be a 2-minute breathing ritual before you answer. If the word is truth, the form might be one sentence that states the fact, followed by one sentence that states care. Forms should be concrete, repeatable, and small enough to succeed. Share. Let others see how the meaning lives in the form. Tell your team the rule before the exception. Say to your child not only no, but no because this keeps you safe. Write the clear email and show the timeline. When people can see the path from meaning to form, trust grows and the bridge strengthens for the next crossing. This method works because it respects how humans actually change, not by slogans, but by forms that carry meaning into habits. Done daily, it teaches your imagination to be a good translator. Common objections deserve a fair hearing. Isn't this just dressing up subjectivity? Number. The world is full of signs with real anchors, outcomes, measures, lives improved or damaged. The guardrails, source, distinction, character, keep you from drifting into taste and calling it truth. Doesn't this make everything relative? Quite the opposite. It makes your claims accountable. If your chosen form does not deliver its meaning, you must revise the form or admit the meaning was only noise. Isn't this too slow for real life? Urgency is real, but speed without clarity multiplies harm. The C-shape share loop can be done in minutes once it becomes habit, and its repairs take less time than cleaning up the mess of a rushed half-truth. Use the bridge in places that matter. In work, translate values into schedules and budgets. Put dates, owners, and ceilings on virtues like fairness and transparency. In relationships, translate love into attention. Close the screen. Ask one unhurried question. Reflect back what you heard in one sentence. In civic life, translate principles into design. Does your process lift the quiet voice or only the loud one? If not, rebuild the form so the meaning can cross. Notice how this changes conflict. When both sides stand on the bridge, they can name the shared meaning even while they propose different forms. Safety versus freedom, truth versus care, stability versus change, these are not enemies. They are pairs that need translation. Once the meanings are clear, you can test forms without poisoning the room. Which design delivers the meaning with fewer harms? Which rule holds under pressure? Debate becomes engineering, not warfare. There is a deeper gift here too. The bridge turns ordinary time into a school. A ring is not just metal, it is covenant made visible. A uniform is not just cloth, it is responsibility made visible. A key is not just a tool, it is trust made visible. When you start reading forms this way, gratitude stops being a mood and becomes sane vision. You begin to thank accurately, not for the shine of the glass, but for the light it carried into you. Hold one more image and let it settle. You are standing in a hallway of doors. Each door is a form. Behind each door is a meaning that matters. Honesty, mercy, courage, wisdom. You do not own the meanings, but you can craft doors that open toward them. Some doors you inherit and can sand smooth. Some doors you must build from scratch. Some doors you must close because they only lead back into noise. Your task is not to argue with the hallway. It is to become a builder who knows wood from rot and hinges from paint. End with the same clarity we began with. Most of the turning points in your life arrived across a bridge you barely noticed. A decision felt right because a form carried a meaning into focus. A friendship deepened because attention took shape as a steady practice. A team changed because a principle became a policy with teeth. Do not leave this to accident. Train your imagination to see, to shape, to share. Keep the guardrails close. Return forms to their source. Keep distinctions clear and test every claim by the character it leaves behind. If you do this for a week, you will feel less scattered. If you keep it for a month, people will trust you more. If you live this way for a year, your work, your home, and your heart will show the same signature. meanings that arrive safely, forms that serve, and a life that reflects what it was made to reflect.